Exiting, there are no black women coaches currently in the WNBA. Right, and everybody trying to stop on each other. It's reckless for Matt to dismiss it as a cash grab. Therefore,
All right. I'm so excited today. Let me just double check, make sure everything's squared away. Okay, yep, looks good. Welcome to the No Bull Podcast, or welcome back to the No Bull Podcast. I am your host, Brianna Bull, and I am bringing you everything basketball. Because if you know bull, you know ball. Okay, so I have a special guest with me. Welcome, Bruce, from the Format Podcast.
What's
Bruce,
up, Bree? What's going on with you?
I'm glad you're here. All right.
Absolutely.
I've been a guest on Bruce's show a few times, and I always use the word honored, and I'm going to just keep using that word because that's what it is to me. And so now that you're here on my show, second guest ever, it's a big deal for me. So I'm glad
Deal
that
for
I
me
have
too.
Bruce. Yeah. So we have a jam-packed agenda. Like, we gotta hop right into it, because that's what we're here. We're here to talk ball, and we're gonna obviously talk about today was the trade deadline. It was 3 p.m. Eastern time, Thursday, February 5th. I mean, this is a jam-packed weekend. I do want to shout out J. Cole's Fall Off album drops tomorrow, and drops at midnight, February 6th, and then we have the Super Bowl on February 8th. Like, this is a crazy stretch of events. But the NBA trades happen today. We're gonna talk about that. And then we're going to dive into the all-star product overall and how I think it's tarnishing the game of basketball, but I don't want to get ahead of ourselves. And then we're going to have the People's Choice segment, which is where we have fan-submitted topics. You, the viewers, are going to choose what we talk about. And so I'm so excited to hear thoughts and conversations surrounded that. Make sure you drop a like, subscribe if you haven't already. Check out the description because I left a link to Bruce's podcast, The Format Podcast. Anything you want to say about your pod and what they can expect for subscribing?
Um, Look, we just talk sports, man. Myself, my co-host Transformer, and my very regularly appearing contributor, Sneed SMT Media Network, and whatever guests we have. Like as we said, we have Bree on. She's been a guest. Man Down Mel from Man Down Sports. We've had some other guests. We just
No.
try to do our thing, and we just talk sports over there, man. So if that's what you want to hear, then come check us out sometime.
All right, yes, sir. Alrighty, so let's get into it. We're diving right in. First
Yes.
on the chopping block, the NBA trade deadline decisions. So here's how it's gonna work for us. When we talk, we're gonna pull up the trade, we're gonna talk about it, and then we're gonna say whether this team or this trade, this organization is cooking or they're cooked. So cooking or cooked, and you as a viewer, make sure you are dropping your comments below. You could put the cooking emoji, you could put the tomato emoji, you can say whatever you want. So we're gonna we're gonna start off. We're gonna go in order, and I'm not gonna take it all the way back to Trae Young's. We're not talking about that. We're gonna talk about the most recent in the last 2 days, and so we're gonna go from the newest. I'm gonna go in. Is it ascending order? No, descending order.
Mm-hmm.
Go descending order.
Yeah.
Okay. So first trade that I wanted to discuss, or that we will talk about, that happened yesterday. All right. The very first one, we didn't even knock the crust out our eyes, but it was the Charlotte Hornets received Mike Conley from the Chicago Bulls, and it was like a trade because we know Mike Conley was on the Wolves, and now he's on the Hornets along with point guard Kobe White. They also, the Chicago Bulls then received draft considerations from Charlotte. They also received Colin Sexton, and then they received a forward from OKC, Asumain Dieng, but and so that's like a whole nother conversation. So let's just focus on Mike Conley and Kobe White are now on the Hornets, and we got Colin Sexton on the Bulls. What do you think about that? Are they cooking or are they cooked?
I don't know what the Hornets are doing, man. Listen, if you're Kobe White, that's cool for you. You're probably going to get up. Well, no, I was about to say that's cool for you, but I'm wondering how many shots you're going to get up, obviously, with LaMelo Ball and with Con Kneppel there. So I was just about to say you're going to be able to get up a lot of shots, put up some numbers, and probably get paid at some point off of that. But I don't know how that works. Mike Conley, I think I was reading or listening to something earlier saying that they may just go ahead and cut him, dump that, and then that way he can work his way back to the T-Wolves and have an opportunity to maybe make another playoff run. Mike Conley's obviously he's a very veteran player, well-respected in locker rooms, never been in drop of trouble in his whole NBA career, and he can still play. Obviously, he's not going to give you the minutes, the way he once could, but I think if he can work his way back to Minnesota, that was a good move. That worked out for him. I don't know how much better this deal makes the Bulls. It's so interesting how some teams are just kind of stuck in mediocrity, and it's almost like, well, we got to do something, but the something that these teams do doesn't really make them any better. So I don't know that the moves they made have improved them at all. You get rid of Lonzo Ball, you get rid of Kobe White. I don't know. I think. Yeah, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Well, I was gonna say I'll jump ahead a little bit because they the Bulls also got in all the trade madness. They got Anthony Simons, but they lost Vucevic, and then they also got Wabasale from New York, and he was previously on the Sixers. And last year, what I remember on the Sixers is when Joel was out, Yabusele really held them down as a big man for them. So to see the Bulls lose Vucevic and have to rely on Jalen Smith, I was worried for them. And Zach Collins has been out as well. But adding Yabusele, I'm hoping he gets more minutes than what the Knicks have been giving him. I think he's been underappreciated up there. And so for me, I think the Bulls are cooking. Yes, they have been middling. Yes, we haven't seen them, but they still managed to stay in the play-in. I think we give them a year, and they could possibly be on to something. And Kevin Huerter is no longer on that team, by the way. He is gone too.
So here's a question, right? A question for you. You say they're cooking.
Yes, I think the Bulls
how much do they want to cook? Because this, again, I'm probably going to refer to this a few times throughout this show. This is a draft that's supposed to have some serious firepower in it. So how much do they want to cook and ruin their opportunity to maybe get somebody that can be a difference maker coming out of college? Because the other problem is they can be cooking, not get that guy, but always be stuck in that middle area where they're good enough to make the playoffs, not good enough to make any noise and advance in the playoffs, but not bad enough to get anything coming out in, whatever year it might be that there's a talent.
Okay, that's fair. So you're looking at it as the Bulls didn't do anything that is a difference maker to what they've already had in place when they had the Zach LaVines, the Lonzo.
Right. And I think Anthony Simons he's like Zach LaVine again, right? He'll be able to put up some points. He's athletic. He'll be a quality player, right? But we saw that, right? We saw that movie already, and what did it get the Bulls? Nothing, which is why Zach LaVine is now in Sacramento.
I'm most excited about Kobe White leaving the Bulls. I don't think that Kobe did anything spectacular there. And so I think I'm excited to see Josh Giddey lead this team because they seem to respond really well to how he plays and his play style. I do think they look different. I think they're a more fundamentally sound team.
Okay.
At least in the guard play. As far as their big men, but I do think they're building that backcourt. Say it again.
No, I was saying when you mentioned as far as their big men, I was saying losing Vooch, that's going to hurt them.
It's going to hurt them. It really is. I was shocked to see that, and I'm almost wondering if that was more like a Vooch. Vooch was ready, or it looked like they're a younger team now without Vooch, dramatically younger. I mean, who's the oldest guy on their team? Patrick. I don't know. I gotta look
that is a young team. Yeah,
it's a young team. So. But I think they're cooking because I'm not going to do any giveaways, but I might be foreshadowing to a later segment. The young run and gun team is in right now. That's probably why the Hornets are on a 7-game win streak right before the All-Star break. They're running and gunning.
Yeah, they running and gunning. So have we looked at who they played on this win streak though?
We have not.
Anybody good?
I'm gonna pull up my favorite. If anybody ever wants to know where to go to get stats on like season stats, I always recommend StatMuse. I think they have
StatMuse is good. Yeah,
I love StatMuse. Hornets last 10 games, They played New Orleans. They played the Spurs, and they beat the Spurs 111. They beat Dallas. They beat Memphis. Nothing standing out yet, but then they beat the Sixers and blow the. I mean, they demolished the Sixers 130-93. They beat the Wizards. Then they beat Orlando, and they demolished Orlando 124-97. So yeah, the teams that we're used to them seeing equal up to, they're winning by 3. But then you get to teams that are in the playoffs right now. We're talking top 6, 7 teams, and they're blowing them out. I'm like, wait. And then they lost to Cleveland, but it was a very low scoring game. And I'm actually shocked, because when are the Hornets known for their defense? But they lost to the Cleveland 87-94. So Cleveland didn't even break 100. And then they beat.
I'm sorry, I was going to say, I got to tell you, I love seeing scores like 87-94. It takes me back to the 90s. I love it.
Yeah. See, that's why you got to catch women's basketball, because that's right around, that's where they're at right now.
Yes, it is.
Yeah. Okay, let's move on to a different team. And instead of just doing the transactions, I'm just going to do teams, because I think that's easier. Let's talk about your beloveds. Let's talk about the Celtics.
Right.
Because they got Vooch, and they got some draft consideration. They got a draft consideration, and then they let go of Anthony Simons. They also signed Amari Williams for a rest of the season contract, and I'm not really sure who that is and what he's done.
Yeah.
And then they also they got rid of Chris Boucher, who So
right.
I'm curious. I do want to hear: are the Celtics cooking with Nikola, or are they cooked?
No, I think they're cooking. They got a stronger, younger Al Horford, right? He's going to be able to do a lot of things that Horford was doing. He'll be able to, moderately, decently defend some bigs. He can step out and hit the 3. You know that Joe Mazzulla wants guys who can do that. Obviously, he's got the fundamentals. He's a Euro guy. So I think they're cooking. And he can hit the glass, which is something that really infuriates me, is when guys don't rebound. And so him being able to do that, I think they're cooking. I don't know if it's a super huge difference maker, but I think it's a very good fit. And Simons was in the mold of a Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum, that type of wing player, but not quite what they are. And so, he wasn't getting a lot of minutes. Maybe he didn't fit the system, not really sure, but, he can go.
Okay, that was easy breezy. Let's move on to one where let's talk about a couple teams that didn't do anything, and then we'll wrap it up with Cleveland and the Clippers, because I feel like that's going to be a great one. But I want to talk about 2 teams that were very quiet, almost too quiet, and they didn't do anything yet. I don't know. There might be some trades that haven't cleared yet. Who knows? But the first team that comes to mind is this Milwaukee Bucks team, and Giannis not getting traded. What's going on with the Bucks? Are they cooking, or are they cooked for not trading Giannis?
I think so. One, we know that in the NBA, when you try to trade a superstar, you never get back superstar value. It's just not how it works, right? You're not going to, right? Giannis is, most people consider him an all-timer. I think he's fairly locked in for the Hall of Fame. I mean, everybody makes a Hall of Fame in basketball, right? But he's a Hall of Famer. You're not going to get back equal value for Giannis. And so the goal is, you're trying to trade a guy like Giannis. You want to be able to at least get the absolute maximum that you can return from him, even if it's not equal value. And I don't think that Milwaukee found anything that they felt was going to be that for that franchise. And so they're saying, all right, if we keep him till the offseason, we got a couple options. We can, again, try to trade him. That also gives other teams an opportunity to put something together that's more palatable to us in a trade scenario. Or we have an opportunity to maybe try and, give another shot to bringing in a number 2 guy that will pacify Giannis and keep him here. Because ideally, they don't want Giannis to leave, right? He's the second best player in Milwaukee history. Some people may say first, whatever, but he's clearly at lowest the second best player in Bucks history. So they don't want him to leave. He puts butts in the seats. He loves the city loves him. Obviously, he has brought them their first and only championship since Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. So if they have an opportunity to keep him, they're going to do that. So one of those 2 things is going to happen. We'll see what it is.
Okay. I mean, I'm a little disappointed. I think they're cooked right now. I'm not gonna lie, because I think they had a chance. They have a chance to rebuild, and think I think Giannis is cooked if he stays with the Bucks. I admire his passion or his loyalty. I guess is a better word for it, for sure. And I don't want ring culture to influence men to changing loyalties. I really don't. However, I think you haven't won a chip in a very, very long time, and the Bucks haven't given you any indication that they're going to position you to win another one. And so I think it's really time. I think Giannis brings so much to the NBA in general that I think he needs to move on for the sake of his legacy.
Well, I think his legacy is solidified, right? Because you look at the Giannis that came into the league averaging 7.5 points or 6.7 or whatever it was, right? And, the beanpole, just, some athleticism and not much anything else. You look at what he's done physically to build his body. You look at what he's done to build his game from what it was now. Still, nobody's ever going to, confuse him with Kobe or Jokic or any of those guys skills wise. However, Giannis is a guy that never, you want to talk about never cheating the game. They like to use that expression with LeBron. No. That's Giannis. Never cheats the game, right? So you look at a guy like that, they love him so much. And I don't think he would be doing himself a disservice to stay because he delivered, right? So let's just say hypothetically, for whatever reason, he ends up staying out the rest of his career. He never wins again. He's a multiple-time first-team All-NBA. He's a multiple-time MVP, 2-time MVP, if I'm not mistaken. He's a defensive player of the year. He's a champion. He's the greatest scorer in Bucks history. He's got all these things, right? He'll be, if he's not already, the greatest rebounder in Bucks history. He's got all these things. Nobody is going to look down on Giannis unless for whatever reason they got a problem with Giannis because he delivered. So once you deliver, you can be loyal. Now, a Dame Lillard who was loyal but never won, people are going to look at him differently. They're going to say he should have got out of there. He should have found a way to go somewhere else and win. I think the Giannis thing, people look at him differently, and they understand that he's got a different mentality because he's not an American-born player. He's not even raised in America. So his basketball mindset and culture is totally different. Think about it. If he was an American-born player, he'd have been out. He would have forced his way out, but he's not moving like that. Now, is he behind the scenes trying to get things done? Yeah, probably, right? That's just the nature of the NBA and the power of superstar players. But I think that, to the point you brought up, even if he, for whatever reason, ends up staying there the rest of his career and never wins again, people are going to look at him honorably, and they're going to say he's an honorable guy, and it's okay.
Okay. I can see them giving Giannis the benefit of doubt with all those things considered. I really don't hear too many critiques or harsh criticisms on Giannis. He's actually not a polarizing guy. We were talking about how this league is polarizing right now. He's not one of those guys. He's definitely just a chill guy. Now, but when he deleted all those pictures from his Instagram, that kind of got me a little side-eye. Like, hold on.
Yeah,
he's still human, so.
Yeah, he's still human. That's right.
That culture rubbed off. I do want to update. I do want to update from earlier. Mike Conley actually was picked up by the Hornets and then waived
there you go.
well. And waived. And also on waivers right now is Lonzo Ball. And so I just wanted to update that. Didn't want to cause any confusion.
Where is Lonzo Ball though?
Well, so Lonzo, he was on Cleveland and then he got sent to the Jazz.
Right.
And then the Jazz waived him. And so that is interesting, which leads me into my next one with the Jazz and their acquisitions, and their movements, because they were involved in a lot of things. We got
Jaren Jackson Jr.
Yes, Jaren Jackson Jr. And then they got one more guard. They got a guard on there that has me a little shook right now. Where did it go?
See who that was.
Yeah. Where did my little
trade tracker?
Yeah, no, I had my transactions.
I had them all here too. And
they're here, and now they're gone. It's so much that happened today. It's insane.
I know, right?
So insane. I literally had it.
Yeah.
Here we go. I want to see are the Utah Jazz, are they cooking or are they cooked? Okay, so they got Lonzo, like I said, then they dropped him. They also got a draft consideration. They got Chris Boucher.
Right, from Boston, right.
Yep. And then they waived both of them. So they don't have them anymore. They got Vince Williams Jr. from the Grizzlies. They also got John Conker and Jock Landell, and then Jaren Jackson Jr. So they got some height on them, which I don't know if that was foreshadowing them giving up Walker Kessler and Lauri Markkanen in the summertime. Not sure, because they definitely got some height on them. And they let go of Walter Clayton Jr., Taylor Hendricks, and George Niang, who was on Cleveland, and I thought he was doing good in Cleveland. And the Hawks had him for a second and got rid of him again. So, and then they also let go of Kyle Anderson. I think the Jazz are cooking. I think Memphis is cooked and the Jazz are cooking, because let's talk about how they did not let go of Ja Morant. Another person who all these talks were, and then boom, J times 3 is out the door. So what do you think? Are the Utah Jazz cooking and cooked? And are the Memphis Grizzlies cooking or cooked?
Okay, so I'm looking at this two ways, right? I want to say off the top of my head, I want to say Utah's cooked because one, Lauri Markkanen, we've been hearing his name in trade rumors for like more than a year now, right?
Especially last year. I mean, he was out so long last year. I really thought they let him go then.
Yeah. And I'm looking at it like, okay, just as soon as the right deal comes up, he's gone, because we know Danny Ainge, right? Trader Danny, that's what they call him. So that's that. So I'm just like, okay, Lauri Markkanen I don't even really see him fitting in too much to the Jazz future. It's just about getting the right deal for him. Jaren Jackson Jr., he's a guy. We saw what he can be, Defensive Player of the Year, but it almost seems to me like he got his money. He got his Defensive Player of the Year. He's not the same player. So, like, that's interesting. It looks like Danny Ainge brought in guys to the guys that he cut. That was a function of clearing salary cap space, because I guess money is the only thing that's going to be able to bring maybe a big-time guy to Utah. Nobody wants to play in Utah. This is not Karl Malone, John Stockton, Jerry Sloan anymore, right? And even then, nobody really wanted to play in Utah. And so that's what I'm looking at. I don't see it, right? And so I feel like Danny Ainge always has a plan. So I'm gonna give him the benefit of the doubt, and I'm gonna ride with you on this, and I'm gonna say he's cooking.
He's cooked. He still has Ace Willie. He still got Ace, and he got his ace in the hole.
That's true.
And I think him not getting as many minutes and bump as his probably fellow class draft mates, I think that humbled him a little bit. And Keontae George, come on, Nurkic came over to the Jazz, and after he left from the Hornets and he was on the Suns, I think this is the best Nurkic we've seen in a while. Other than his injury. Like the one thing I don't like about the Jazz organization is they will let you sit down. I really don't think they will hold you back for a while. So I don't like that. And then they got Isaiah Collier. They still got Kyle Filipowski. And he's another big who, he could shoot. He got Bryce Sansborough. They got some guys, man. So I think they're cooking. And adding a guy like Vince Williams Jr., who's going to give you effort and hustle and the two-way action, they're cooking.
All right. I'm gonna give you and Trader Danny the benefit of the doubt here, because I can't see the plan, but I'm gonna give you all the benefit of the doubt. Cooking.
Listen, I was so adamant about the Mavs being great this year, and then in hindsight, everything was wrong about everything I was thinking.
I was adamant about the Magic being a real up and comer in the East. I can't figure that out. I'm so disappointed in Paolo Banchero, man.
Yeah,
I expected more.
I mean, he's starting to pick it up, but I think it's because him and the coach are going through some things right now. They're not seeing eye to eye. What I've seen in the grapevine. Also, his plus or minus, I think it's improved since then. But Mel and I, we did a show a couple months ago, and his plus or minus was like -15. Paolo. And then also Franz Wagner just can't seem to stay healthy. And I didn't really like that. And then also it took him and Desmond Bane a while to click.
Mm-hmm.
And do you think that was more so Desmond or more so Paolo in the team?
I don't know if it was either one. Sometimes guys coming from different places, different systems, also different personalities just need some time to mesh. So I don't know that it was either one. It was probably just a time thing. Sometimes you do see teams, they need that time to figure it out, and then you see a run after the All-Star break. So hopefully we'll see that, not because I'm a Magic fan or anything like that, but because I want to see a good competitive run down the home stretch, especially in the East. And I want to see competitive playoff basketball in the East, because we know the West is going to be a freaking dogfight. That's going to be nasty over there. But I want to see something in the East to prepare whoever comes out of there for the eventual winner of the gauntlet in the West in the finals.
You know what my predictions with this West versus East, I do think the West is going to take it this year, but I think next year the East is going to be a force to be reckoned with, because I was looking at the standings and looking at all these trades. I think someone said it yesterday on the show, it's wide open. I think next year is going to be an East team on top overall. I really do. Now, OKC is cooking because they literally gave up a ton of draft. They said, we're good over here. They gave up, but they didn't even, they're just playing with us at this point, because adding Jarrett McCain, they're cooking. The fact that you have your star out and then the second option out, and you just add Jarrett McCain, and then give away all your draft picks, you're cooking.
Well, man, listen, OKC got so many draft picks, they could probably give away 10 and still have 10 more. Like, they got, what's the term? A treasure trove of draft picks? Yeah. Sam Presti's been hoarding them things for years.
I think, you know what it was? Sam Presti, he called it right with SGA. This guy is on cloud 9. He could do no wrong.
No wrong. That's a fact.
He's fuming on confidence. Like, this guy. Okay. Let's do a couple more cooks or or cooking.
Right.
And then fans, we want to hear from you. Basketball fans overall. The Pistons. Let's talk about the Pistons, because they got Kevin Huerter. They also got Dario Saric, who was previously on the Kings and did a stint on the Nuggets. But before all of that, he was on the Wizards. And that was the last time I seen him actually doing something.
Saric, that's right. I forgot about him.
Yeah. And so I was excited to see him go to was he on I think he was on the Nuggets first and then he went to the Kings. Either way, I thought both teams were going to use him, and neither of them gave him any shot. So him going to the Pistons, I mean, sure, I think he might play behind Jalen Duren and Isaiah Stewart even.
Right.
But I think they needed depth in order to really contend in these playoffs. So and then they ended up waiving Isaac Jones. And then the Bulls got, let me see what they got, because, you know, Kevin Huerter was on the Bulls previously. I just want to make sure, see what they gave up. Oh, this was a 3-team trade. Oh, they got Jaden Ivey. The Bulls got Jaden Ivey.
Yeah. That's why Kobe White had to go, because they're two like shoot first guys, but Jaden Ivey is physically bigger than Kobe White, so that helps defensively. And, you know, both of those guys won't be able to coexist. Yeah, I forgot about that. That's right.
Yeah, and so you know what I think it is why they got Kevin Huerter, because I see what Mel said. Mel said the Pistons should have went all in on MPJ. I think they wanted to get another guy like a Duncan Robinson on their team. And I'm not trying to make this like a skin thing at all. But I'm saying, like, I think they wanted another fundamental guy.
Okay.
That I think even more so than they wanted a scorer, because Kevin Huerter has length, and I think he has a lot of length on him, but he has that physicality, but he's still fundamentally physical. Whereas though the Pistons are just like a physical team all the way around. It's not like their success comes from their fundamentals. It comes from their physicality. And so I think they decided, let's not disrupt this team with looking for a scoring option. Let's add more pieces that are fundamentally sound. So that's what I think their angle was.
So, no, that's a great point. And I know that you were probably the first person I heard talking about how for the Pistons to reach the levels that they want to reach, obviously they're number one seed in the East, but they need that second guy. And so I think they realize that they're not able to get that second big time scorer to go along with Cade Cunningham. So what they're doing is fortifying everything else around him. So that's the point you're making in terms of adding the depth, getting more defenders, as well as, you know, getting guys who can contribute here and there. because as we know, teams are going to do everything they can come playoff time to take Cade Cunningham away. So that's going to be interesting to see how that ends up playing out. But yeah, they're doing everything they can to, do the little things to help augment that roster. So smart moves on their part. If you can't get a big gun, then you just add more bullets to the clip.
Yeah, they got the big guns. This is the little guns. Then they got the big guns.
Right.
I mean, I think that the Pistons, obviously, they're gonna do great. What's up, Kaja? Kaja, great to see you. I got to see she's next up on my show.
Yeah.
Talk about someone who knows ball. Head over to Just Simply Sports immediately. Shorty knows football and basketball, and every time she talks, I always agree with what she says. I have not yet to disagree with what she said.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to sub to her show too.
Yeah. She's been on Man Down Sports too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I've seen her on there.
But some of these trades are highly questionable. I agree. I feel like they flooded us with trades. I don't know. I was like overwhelmed by everything that was going on. My phone just kept buzzing and buzzing and buzzing. Right. I'm like, wait, they're overcompensating. And what did Snead say yesterday? He said they did a whole lot of stuff and did a whole lot of nothing at the same time.
Right.
The league did everything possible and still nothing was good. so funny, man. But okay, any wrapping up thoughts about these trades? Oh, my bad. Let's talk about the final trade to end off the night, which to me
yes
was the biggest trade, because we got to talk about what this is going to look like for the East.
Yes, ma'am.
And that is James Harden to Cleveland and Darius Garland to the Clippers. Cooking? Are Cleveland cooking or cooked?
Cleveland, I think, is cooking, because Snead called me crazy when I said this. I believe LeBron is headed back there and they're building out that super team. This may be the one situation. I believe this may be the situation where he's going to take less money to make that happen, because the Lakers don't want him anymore. Where's he going to be? Unless, because we know he wants to stay in LA, unless he goes across the street to the Clippers, because they've gotten rid of big money with Harden leaving, right? So it could be possible that he could be there with Kawhi, but I know Kawhi doesn't want to play with LeBron. He's already made that clear. So it could be interesting to see what happens. But if not the Clippers and not Cleveland, where else would he go, right? So I do believe there's a reunion in sight in Cleveland this summer. So that's why I think Harden is there, honestly.
So I think Harden is there, and it was a little odd because it was talks, right, that he asked to go there, and everybody's like, out of all places, he asked.
He said he didn't.
Oh,
he was asked about that, and he said that he did not request a trade. He denied it, but all the reports were that he asked out of there. So I don't know what to.
Okay. Mm-hmm. Well, nonetheless, I think to Kaja's point that we don't trust Harden in big games. Now that he's going to Cleveland, I think he's not going to be their number one go-to option. And I know we've seen him on Brooklyn where he wasn't, but that team didn't work out because they couldn't stay healthy. This Cleveland team, in my opinion, has a reputation for staying relatively healthy when it comes down to the postseason.
Right.
And so I think Evan Mobley's still going to be that number 2, and James Harden's going to be their number 3. He's so ball dominant. And Darius Garland was their point guard. I think we're going to see Houston Rockets Houston Rocket James Harden. We're going to see, hopefully with a little better defense, we're going to see James Harden finally finding his groove because he's going from a Zubac to an Evan Mobley. I'm trying to picture how he's gonna be. I think he knows how talented Spider is, and Spider's still gonna be their number one option.
Yes.
And I get it. He had a Kawhi, but I still feel like with James Harden, he knew he had to carry a lot of the load because look at Kawhi's track record. I just think he's in a position now where there's not too much pressure on him. So then he's gonna show up. Like the irony is he's gonna end up showing up because there's not too much pressure. Does that make sense? Like,
no,
I might
But
be
that's
cooked
the
on what
thing.
I'm saying. But
No, you're cooked on what you're saying, Bree, because there's actually more pressure now because everybody's expecting that he's there. Donovan Mitchell's there. As you said, Evan Mobley's there, that he's like an extra piece to get Cleveland back up and running. You know, they were number 1 seed in the East last year, right?
yeah, they finished
Right.
number
So,
1. And
and
then
they
I
have
think did
fallen
they end
off
up
a bit this
losing
year.
did they lose to Orlando or did they beat them?
They
Because
beat them.
okay.
Yeah, they beat them.
And then they lost to the Knicks.
Mm-hmm. And so I think people are looking at it and saying like, you know, oh, James Harden's there with Donovan Mitchell. That's a 1-2 punch. The pressure is still there. The pressure is still there. Because think about this. James Harden, he wants to win, supposedly, right?
Cleveland
So why
is
would
a
he?
way better team than the Clippers, way better team than the Nets. I don't think James Harden has been on a significantly better team all the way around. Maybe when he had Norman Powell and they had their little run when they like number 3 or number 4 in the West a couple years ago. But I don't think he's had a really good team around him since the 2020 Houston Rockets. So that's why I'm saying he's going to this Cleveland team and he's going to have like one of the most solid teams he's had in a while.
I just don't think it's going to matter. Some guys just aren't built that way for the big moments. And he's one of those guys. I just don't think it matters. And I got to disagree with you. I don't think there's anything that's going to make James Harden ever play real defense. Firstly, he's too old now. It's just not going to happen. He never did it. What would make him do that now?
That's true. Well, looking at this team, like their starting lineup is probably going to have Jalen Tyson now that they got rid of DeAndre Hunter.
Right.
So I would think possibly that we have James Harden at the 1, Spider at the 2, Jalen Tyson at the 3, Jarrett Allen at the 4, and then Mobley at the 5. That's their starting lineup. Then you're going to bring in Craig Porter. I don't know. I don't know who else is on their team.
No, I think it's a good 5, and they're well coached. It's a good team. James Harden's not the difference maker. I don't think they did that for this year. I really believe that LeBron is going to end up back there. I do. Because let's think about this. The reports originally were that James Harden asked out of the Clippers and that Cleveland was one of his major destinations.
LeBron's end game is Cleveland with Spider and James Harden. That's his end game?
Wouldn't surprise me if it happens.
And it's his end game because for sentimental reasons or because they actually think they can win a ring?
No, he wants to try and win one more. He wants to try to win one more. You know that. Well, so obviously Cleveland is sentimental.
He wants to win a ring in his farewell tour. He's going to go on a farewell tour. He wants his ring, so he's going to go to Cleveland.
First of all, unfortunately, I don't even know if next year is the farewell tour. This guy's never leaving. If you leave it up to him, I don't know. But even if it is, I think, one, you know, to end it where it all started is, you know, that's fairy tale stuff, right? Especially given the career he's been able to have. And then two, if you can pull it off with one more super team and one more run of the chip to end it and walk away, that would be insane. So he would love all that. And guess what? What else all that does, right? We know that LeBron is superb, he and his team, at crafting and controlling the narrative. Can you imagine? People are already psycho about this dude now. Could you imagine if he was able to pull that off? What type of story you got to tell? Hey, come on. He's thought about all this.
Well, I'm looking at their cap space, right? Mm-hmm. They got negative 70 million in cap space, but their first apron is negative 15 and their second apron is negative 3. They got Evan Mobley making the most. Well, no, Evan Mobley and Spider make the same. Right. They make 40, each make 46 mil. And then James just got there at 39 mil. Then there's Jarrett Allen at 20. You know what? They would have to let go of Max Strus because they just got Schroeder. And who knows? Schroeder is willing to go anywhere, but not back to the Lakers.
I'm
just looking at the options.
I got you, but I'm saying, do you think that for one more shot at the dream and that dream scenario I laid out, LeBron would be willing to put his wallet to the side and say, okay, I'll take the cut to go back home? Because here's the other part. Who else realistically is taking on LeBron next year? Knowing what he brings and knowing what he doesn't bring anymore, right? Not being the player that he once was. And then on top of that, we keep forgetting Bronny. That's going to be part of the deal, right? So who's willing to deal with all that? Cleveland has already said they're willing to deal with all that.
That's
Who
true.
else realistically is going to? Nah.
I feel like that would be the greatest revenue year they've had in a while.
Correct. Correct.
So it's like, what wouldn't they do for that?
Yeah. And any other team that's willing to deal with that is going to be a bad team that he's got no shot at winning anyway. He's not doing that.
Okay.
So let's keep these things in mind. Okay. I know it sounds conspiracy theorists and all that, but as soon as James Harden went to Cleveland, I said, "Oh, I think LeBron's going back there." Smart thought.
Okay. All right. Well, let's not get ahead of ourselves on certain things. Right. But all right, we're gonna move on. We're gonna wrap up the trade talks. And we're gonna head to the All-Star product. But before we do, just want to say, make sure you drop a like, subscribe either to my channel or head over to the Format Podcast. I dropped a link to his channel below. Always a pleasure having you on here talking ball, Bruce.
Appreciate it, Bree.
But just remember, if you know bull, you know ball.
That's right. Okay.
Let's move on to the next one. So
I like
the All-Star game. So what?
I've been waiting for this guy.
Yeah. Okay. So the All-Star game is happening next weekend. It's always a spectacle in the NBA world with the All-Star game. But in these past few years, the fans have been extremely disappointed. And it started making me think about going back to the history. I know the trend right now is 2026, go back to 2016. I wanted to go all the way back to when the All-Star game actually was created and why it was created. And no offense, Bruce, you can talk more to this because you were alive. But
I was not. The All-Star game was created.
I know. Okay, let's go through the timeline. I want to just talk about, is the All-Star game beyond redemption? And if not, how can we change it? And so, but first, fans, I wanted to bring up the history of it. So the All-Star game started in 1951 because the NBA was struggling with attendance. So they started the game to get more people excited about it. And the commissioner at the time was Maurice Holdoff, and he created the All-Star Showcase to rebuild excitement. And it definitely worked because the league started taking off. Now, the golden era considerably of All-Star was between the 60s and the 90s. Definitely the 90s was probably the peak of All-Star game. But in there was Wilt Chamberlain, who scored 42 points in an All-Star game. And then there was Magic Johnson and Michael Jordan, like key people in those All-Star eras. But it was in the 80s and 90s when it became a global event. And that's when they added the slam dunk contest and the three-point contest. And it became like a culture shock for people. And then that's when players really started competing hard. Then in the Kobe era, the early 2000s, that's when he won 4 All-Star MVPs. I mean, it was like real tough competitiveness. And that's when they were really treating the All-Star game like it mattered. And then ushers in the LeBron era. And again, this isn't, I'm labeling it this not to put any blame or anything on any players, but we're talking about the 2010s and beyond up until this point. We see in 2018, they switched it to Team LeBron versus a team captain. And then they started doing playground style drafts. And then they added like late game drama. And we just saw, in my opinion, it became more about content than actual basketball. And it came about marketing and all these other things. And so I just wanted to lay that out there for y'all of how the All-Star game started and where we're at now. And so what I also wanted to point out, I was looking through and thinking about what has been said about the All-Star game in the past with different players, albeit LeBron has said things about the current state of the All-Star game and how it's been over the years and how he doesn't like it. Same thing with Kevin Durant, same thing with Wemby. And while Steph never said he didn't like it or he does, he did allude to the fact that, hey, it's just a time for us to have fun and let loose. And even Giannis said stuff like that. So we have big all-stars and big superstars and leaders of this league with different visions on how the All-Star game should go and be. And so I wanted to play a clip for y'all about Jamal Murray. This is his first All-Star game ever. And we're going to listen to what he has said about this.
I really kind of lost interest in All-Star just watching whatever they're doing out there. It's just like I'd rather go vacation if that's the basketball we're gonna be playing. You know what I'm saying? I'm down to play 1-on-1. I don't care. I'm just a competitor, right? So I would like to play. I know Wembanyama will play. I know Giannis will play if he were to. So I want to be one of those guys that's known as.
Mm-mm. Oops, can you hear me?
I can hear you.
It's a little frozen. Is it our faces yet? No, not yet. Hold on.
There we go.
All right, there we go. My bad, y'all. A little technical difficulties there. Okay. What do you think about what Jamal Murray had to say about his first ever All-Star game?
I love Jamal Murray's comments here. He kept it buck, man. I really kind of lost interest in All-Star just watching whatever they're doing out there. Whatever they're doing out there. I'd rather just go on vacation if that's the basketball we're going to be playing. And so I love the fact that also he named names of the real competitors, right? The Wembys, the Giannis's, so on, right? He has mentioned Giannis as someone who plays hard every time out, right? We know that Wemby's a competitor. Wemby cares about winning. And so you were talking about kind of the history of the All-Star game a second ago, Bree, and I want to just go back there. And a big part of this is whoever's the face of the league at that time, people are going to follow that lead, right? So I'm not going to take it back to the 70s or anything like that. That's before my time. But if you're talking about in the 80s, right, who were the faces of the league at that point? Towards the end of the decade, it was Isaiah and Mike, but turning over to Mike. But throughout most of that decade, it was who? Magic and Bird. They were the epitome of competitive fire, right? The epitome, because they were always trying to go at each other, whether it was Lakers or Celtics. And then in the All-Star game, they were generally the two captains of the East. So they weren't just going to roll over. They wanted to beat each other, right? And then, of course, as you mentioned, you get into the 90s, who's the face? Michael Jordan. We know what that's about. That dude is the ultimate psycho competitor, right? Then you mentioned in the 2000s, in that first decade, who's the face? Kobe, right? Right there with Mike as the ultimate psycho competitor, face of the league. So when you have a face of the league, most of the rest of the league will follow. So now you get into these 2010s and forward. Who is it? LeBron. And I've talked about this ad nauseum. People go, oh, you just a LeBron hater. LeBron live rent free. You ain't know another black, whatever. We know LeBron is not truly a guy who wants to compete. We've seen it in his mannerisms. We've seen it in the things he says. We've seen it in things he does. We've seen it in him ushering in the super team era, right? So his lack of willingness to really go out there and compete, really go at it, that has played such a huge role. And so many players followed along with that because he was the leader of the league and the face of the league for the most part, right? And so when he does that, okay, cool. Now you're in a situation where everyone's doing this. But I've also said, I believe the future of the NBA is going to be okay. Sports, much like pop culture, are cyclical. And we're seeing these younger cats. I don't know what happened to them. Maybe Snead put it best last night when he said they have heard a whole generation being, talked about, and they don't want to be talked about that way. These younger cats, they go at it. They go at each other. And so I'm looking forward to seeing what it's going to be. But as of what it is right now, LeBron definitely played a major role and is the majority impetus for the state that the All-Star game is currently in, which is not great, which is why the league has to come up with all these different I saw one of the comments said all these gimmicks, right? I think that was VC is me. What up, VC? All these different gimmicks. The league is basically throwing stuff at the wall to see if it sticks because these guys don't want to compete, right? Now
they're overproducing. I think they're overproducing this show. For
sure. And this US versus the world, I think, is the best thing they could have come up with. I've been saying it for a couple of years. They should do that. But guess what they do with that, right? There's one world team and two US teams. So they're making sure that the US doesn't lose. Because I think if they play US versus the world just in a regular game format,
I don't know, this is my conspiracy because Adam Silver has been pushing the expansion worldwide agenda since he started his tenure as commissioner. So I would not be surprised if the world team won because they want to highlight the possibilities with the world partners. And I think I wouldn't be surprised if Team World won. just because he's pushing this agenda for them next year to be playing overseas and vice versa.
But that's a great point.
But to your point with it's very watered down right now.
Mm-hmm.
We've given it a little criticism. I do want to bring some construction in there.
Okay.
What can change aside from the players being more competitive? Because I think it's a contradiction right now for them to say they want it to be better and then they go out there and just do anything is a crazy slap in the face contradiction. And it's if y'all truly want it to be better, then why has it not changed yet? And I do hear a lot of people say, well, they don't want to get hurt. Anybody's at risk of getting hurt anytime you step outside. So I don't want to hear it's because they don't want to get hurt. This load management propaganda is ridiculous. But I think one of the things that they have to do is, like I said, stop overproducing it. Please, I don't want to see Kevin Hart talking for 30 minutes. If I wanted to, I'd go and watch Twitch and see him going live with one of the young guys. I don't want to turn on my screen and see a lot of dialogue with some people who want to do anything for the clout. Like, I don't want to see that. I want to turn on my TV and watch the All-Star game and watch more basketball. Last year, it was more everything else but basketball.
Yeah.
So I would really love to see them focus more on that. And then I think another path forward to redemption is maybe possibly giving more incentives. Now, I don't want to enable what's happening, but I think that Emirates Cup, we did see some healthy competition, even though some of the games and the matchups like the Spurs and OKC, people were taking it a little more personal. But I think I in terms of like their statue and who's greatest and stuff like that, but I would love to see maybe some other type of incentives to possibly have these players play better. What do you think?
No, I think you made a lot of great points there, Bree. The only thing I'll say from a standpoint of the game itself, what can they do to make it better? I think one of the best things they can do is limit the amount of threes. How about that? Limit the amount of threes, which now forces teams to play more and actually run more real offense, because you can't just come down and, because these all-star games now are having like 120 threes between the teams. It's crazy. So if you limit the amount of threes in the game, it forces guys to go more one-on-one, and it will force the teams to run, a few more real offensive sets, and it will probably force a little bit more post play back into the game. So limit the amount of threes. I think that is a huge one that they could do.
Okay.
I think in terms of this U.S. versus the world, make it a real game, just a real, 5-on-5. Well, not 5-on-5, but a real basketball game, U.S. versus the world, not this weird round robin format tournament thing they got going on. Make it a real game, because if you make it U.S. versus the world, the U.S. players will be forced to play with pride so that they don't get beat by the world, right? Because we've been seeing over time in international competition, the world is creeping up.
Going hard. The last Olympics and FIBA, whoo!
There you go.
Boys had a hoop.
So if you make it, hey, this is one game, serious, U.S. versus the world, the U.S. is, whoever's on that U.S. team, going to have to play with pride in order to try and win that. Not just for themselves, not just for whatever monetary bonus it is, but for the United States of America, and they'll do it. So I think limit the threes and make it one true game, not this round robin stuff, U.S. versus the world.
And to your point about players playing with pride, and it starts with the players, and the issue is they are allowing players like LeBron to win All-Star when they don't deserve it. Like, just because you've had 20 great seasons doesn't mean this 2026 All-Star game you should be playing, because did you have a great season? Like, what the whole point. That's why I wanted to bring up the timeline of the All-Star game. It started off because they needed more fans to come, but what it evolved into was greater competition to showcase your abilities as a superstar. And to me, the players are showing us, and what we've enabled is that no matter what you do, you can be sucky for 5 years straight, and I'm still going to be a super fan and go hard for you.
Yeah.
I'm not saying there's anything wrong with that personally, but it is something wrong with that for the game of basketball. And when it starts to affect the game of basketball, I don't want any parts of it. And so, that's what I'm frustrated. And that's what we're seeing right now.
Mm-hmm.
There's no way Brandon Ingram shouldn't have made it. I don't care.
No, he's revolting.
I mean, I'm not dying on a Brandon Ingram hill by any means.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah.
Yeah, no, you're 100% right. And we heard, Kevin Garnett talk a lot about it, and I don't know if it's something personal or if he's just talking about what he truly believes. He's put a lot of blame at the feet of LeBron, for the demise of this thing. I'm sure you've heard him talking about it, back when Kobe was alive and he was supposed to, take on that next mantle with LeBron going one-on-one at Kobe. Mm-hmm. And he mentioned Kobe going one-on-one at Mike. And he mentioned, like I was saying earlier, Bird and Magic going at each other, and Isaiah and Magic. And if you go back, the best guys in the league were going at each other in these games. So it's it was actually an interesting point that he made. And then he was saying this year he doesn't believe that LeBron is actually going to play. He just believes that LeBron just wanted
the spot to
stay.
They did all that last year just for LeBron, an hour before the All-Star game, did not play, but yet he still came out on the stage in regular street clothes. What's going on?
Gotta get attention, and we keep giving it to him. So it's not even all his fault.
What? He came out in jeans. I think they were ripped.
Hey man, they probably cost like $1,000 though. He's a billionaire.
Oh, hold on. Let's knock my camera over, Bruce. Hold on.
Rhea's bugging out over there. No, Sneed, you're absolutely right, man. It is a middle finger. And that is crazy. Sengun isn't an all-star. He should have had LeBron's spot. Yes, 100%. Absolutely.
He's almost averaging a double-double. His efficiency is pretty much the same. And I think I give him more kudos to him because he's their second option.
Yeah.
He's the second option. I'm gonna give him that. Right behind KD.
Yeah.
But that's been his team.
Mm-hmm.
Before the KDs got there. That's been Sengun's team.
Yeah. Sengun is that guy, man. I like Sengun a lot.
Man, I love, and he's formidable. Am I using the right word? The man's durable. He plays.
Yeah.
He plays. And he plays, I think last year, he played like 74 games last year.
Mm-hmm. And he gives effort on the defensive end. That's big for me. So
yes, he's a great rim protector, and he's gonna go at the Wembies. He's gonna go at Jokic. He's gonna go at Giannis. Mm-hmm. And he plays like traditional, put the ball, boom, boom, back up. I think he's trying to develop. I can see him trying to develop his three and trying to develop his pull up. But I would be okay with Sengun not shooting threes.
Yeah, no, I'm with it. I just think it's a function of the modern game that they want everybody to be able to shoot the three. But I'm good with him not shooting them. But you definitely see some improvement from him on that front percentage-wise this season.
Oh, well, maybe Amen Thompson, but Amen, I think that's by default, to be honest. If Fred VanVleet didn't get hurt, I think Amen would be their third option. But because he has the ball in his hands majority, and he's so fast and he just blows down the court full speed ahead. Like if they didn't have backcourt sets because of Amen's ability to run down the court, I think they would opt into just letting him run down the court. But
so
I would say that's arguable.
Right. My bad. I'm looking at so I'm grabbing Sengun here. Yeah. So he's getting 21, 9, and 6 assists, 49% shooting. Obviously, the 3-ball, 29%. Not great, but he's doing all of that. I'm pretty sure he's the second option on that team. Not just by stats, but watching him play, I think he's the second option.
I think he is too. He's averaging at least 16 shots a game from the field as a big man. I think, is that what his attempts are? Because when I was looking at it, I was comparing it to LeBron's. I wanted Sengun so bad to be.
He is 16 and a half. You were right on point. 16 and a half. So he's getting a lot of shots up. I think he's the second option.
I wish next time I gotta have Sneed on here.
Oh man, listen, Sneed's a beast.
A beast. All right. So All-Star product again. The All-Star weekend kicks off next Friday. And for the first time, we'll see a new format for the All-Star game on the 15th, and it will be a team. There's 3 teams all the way around, and it'll be East versus West, and we'll see some in the world. So they'll do like a round robin type of deal. So
I don't like that. I do have a question for you, Bree.
Yeah, what's going on?
We didn't even touch on this. You mentioned All-Star product, and we're focusing on the game itself. No Mac McClung. What are we going to see from the dunk contest? What are we going to see?
I think so. What is it? Jackson Hayes? Is it Jackson Hayes is in it? Is Jalen Duren in it too? Let me look up. From the dunk contest, I don't know if we're going to be
where I'm going with it, right?
I do see where you're going with it because he brought excitement off the strength of you're coming from the G League.
Yeah,
you're a little white guy. No offense, but I'm just saying that's the excitement that he brought. Who got hops? White men can jump type hops. Right. So that was the excitement that he brought to the game. On top of his dunks just being up there, I think without him we would have been bored. No,
yeah.
Let me just look at the lineup. I'm not really sure. What I have seen in the NBA lately is more flashy dunks this year. And am I tripping for saying that? Or is there like more flashy?
No.
Or is it always been like that?
Okay, so it's always been like that. But where I'm going with this is, where are the big name guys competing in the dunk contest? This is sad and embarrassing at this point. They should be embarrassed that Mac McClung, don't get me wrong, he did some amazing stuff, but they should be embarrassed that he was able to come out here and do this, 3 years in a row? Where are these guys? It's sad. It's sad. And this year he's not competing. Okay, the dunk contest is, I'm sure some guys are going to come out and do amazing things, but where are the names? That's the problem.
Right.
Where are the names?
Yeah.
It's sad.
Remember it was the last dunk contest I was so excited about, had Blake Griffin in it. Was Aaron Gordon in that one? Talking about
No, Aaron Gordon was in the 2 with Zach LaVine, and those were crazy.
Okay. But they were still big names. We were excited to see them play.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But when you say big names, who would you have preferred to see in this?
I guess so. Obviously we would have wanted to see at some point a Zion, right? Some point we probably would have wanted to see a Ja Morant, an Ant Edwards. Those are the type of guys that you would want to see. I don't know if Jaylen Brown has competed in one yet. I don't know, but he probably could. He probably could do it. There are guys that it's okay, can you do it for the fans one time, please? Because that used to be a thing for the fans. It's everybody's too big for it now. And once more, guess whose fault that is? We know whose fault that is, right?
You're saying LeBron's fault?
Yes. There's no excuse for 23 years and one of the most brilliant careers we've ever seen, and not once. No excuse for that.
Okay. I think we'd all love to see Wemby in a dunk contest.
That would be weird.
It would. That's why we want to see it.
Was he 7'4"? Yeah.
He can stand up and reach up and move.
Right. Let's go home, ladies and gentlemen. Right. I don't even know what he would do.
The first dunk in history where you didn't even jump off the ground and dunk.
Right. That would be crazy. That would be crazy.
But no seriousness. That's such a great point, Bruce. The 3 contestants are Jalen Duren from the Pistons, Jackson Hayes from the Lakers, and then Carter Bryant from the Spurs.
Now the question is, who's Carter Bryant?
And I'm sure these guys. He's a rookie,
right? I'm sure they'll give us some great dunks. I'm not trying to poop on them. I want to give them I'm sure they'll give us some great dunks, and they're working hard to try and put on a show. It's not their fault. It's just sad that these guys don't want to do it. That's all I'm saying.
You know what Sports Illustrated said? It says Lakers center Jackson Hayes and Spurs rookie Carter Bryant were the first 2 to sign up for the dunk contest this year. Now, I don't know how stuff works, but to sign up, how does it work? Do people sign up and then they make decisions, or who decides?
No, I think you just put your name in there. I guess if you get too many people that want to be in it, then the league office may decide, but you just put your name in the hat. But again, those 2 are the first 2 to sign up. What does that tell you? Something is around.
Hundreds of players and only 5 people signed up is crazy.
Crazy work. Crazy work. It's disappointing. It really is.
It really is. And I mean, it's they're reaping. You do reap what you sow, and this is what they're sowing, and this is what they're reaping. So then it leads to other long-term consequences, like going overseas just to get more fan base and more money and more attention. And that next thing you know, the state of the game is completely changed. And I'm not opposed to the expansion necessarily. Go check out one of my videos. I talk about it. The fact that we can't change the behaviors within our in America now, thinking that adding more is gonna change behavior. Like, I really can't believe, is this really a last resort option, or is this something that he's leveraging? He is, and Adam Silver is leveraging because it's so bad right now, and he's like benefiting off of it to reach his own agenda. I think that's what pisses me off. It's like, is this really going to solve things, or is it about the bottom dollar?
Yeah.
It's just,
for sure.
Anyway.
Can I respond to a comment that I saw here from my guy, Ed Dog?
Absolutely. Which comment? I put up on screen.
He says, this man is a power dunker, Bruce. And I guess he's talking about when I said there's no excuse for LeBron having been in all these years and he hasn't done it. That's the excuse that the LeBron people keep using. He's a power dunker. He's a power dunker. What about these windmills and reverse dunks that he's doing in the games? What about when he teased everybody talking about, I'm going to do the dunk contest next year? Then he didn't do it. But when Bronny was in high school, he's in Bronny's layup line, throwing the ball off the walls and doing dunks and whatnot. So he can do dunk contest dunks in practice and in LeBron and in Bronny's layup line and in games, but he can't get out there and do it in a dunk contest. Let's be real. It's not about him being a power dunker. LeBron, as we know, will always defer so that all the pressure is not on him. Not always, but often defer so that all the pressure is not on him. In a dunk contest, in front of the whole world, all the lights bright, nobody else on the court. He can't make the pass, right? He can't make the right basketball play. He's got to go out there and do it. And I truly believe that he's afraid of going out there all alone with nobody else that he can blame and being in that situation. So this BS of, oh, he's just a power dunker. No. Is he a power dunker? Yes. But Sean Kemp was a power dunker. Dwight Howard was a power dunker. Those guys got in the dunk contest and got down, right? Let's stop making excuses for this dude. I'm going to keep it a buck here. He's a coward. That's all there is to it. He doesn't want to get out there and do it. He's afraid. That's all.
He's afraid of the scrutiny that he might receive, or is he afraid to like lose something and then it counts against him essentially?
That too, yes. Okay. So he'd rather not compete. Think about this. We know Michael Jordan wasn't a three-point shooter. You know what he did? He competed in the three-point contest. A lot of people don't know that. I believe it was arguably the worst three-point contest performance ever, but he wanted to go out there and compete. Why can't LeBron go out there and compete in the dunk contest? It's not going to change the way his fans feel about him, whether he goes out there and stinks it up or not. They're still going to tell you LeBron walks on water, heals the sick, and raises the dead. So why doesn't he go out there and compete for the fans that he says he cares so much about? This game that I would never do anything to hurt. This game I love so much. Cool. Go out there and compete. That's all I'm saying.
And I guess, you know, what's interesting though, is that if the guys in the league aren't considering the All-Star to be bragging rights, that's very weird, because All-Star selections and being a part of the All-Star and being a starter or even a reserve adds to you being a great player. I mean, it's things that guys pull out in the accolade arsenal to say that a guy's good or not. So I just see the irony and the contradictions repeating itself over and over and over again. So then that leads me to believe it's all excuses.
Absolutely.
Well, at the end of the day, the All-Star product, I believe in redemption.
Yeah, for sure.
And so I'm excited to see this format, just like I was last year. Doesn't mean I'm going to stick it through the entire time and watch it. I need to see something good, but I have high hopes for it. I'm always aiming towards positivity, and hopefully we'll see something good come out of it, and they'll actually bring in some basketball. Hopefully, maybe they're reading the comments and they're like, oh man, they're under us, guys. We better start moving.
I don't think they care. They're like, man, we're getting this.
They don't give a damn.
Right. Well, no, I think the old guard doesn't care. The young cats, I think they care. And hopefully we'll see that in the future. Let's just get
Hopefully.
back to a real game and do what we gotta do. Let's go out there and hoop.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, speaking of going out there and hoop, let's move on to
Yes.
the next topic.
Let's get it.
And we're going to really be hooping now because I'm so excited. This is probably one of my favorite segments of the show. And this is called the People's Choice segment. So you run the show. We are going to discuss fan submitted topics. So yesterday I went on my social media and I asked fans and viewers, hey, what do you want us to talk about? What topics are really spicing you up, things that you see in comments and you want us to speak towards and talk about? And people wrote in and I selected the best of the best that I think are probably the most relevant to the game today, and definitely conversation starters for sure, igniters, whatever the word is called. So again, this is the People's Choice and the viewers run the show. So we're going to kick it off with the very first topic. And Bruce, we're just going to give our opinions. Sometimes I might answer in, but I'm mostly having you on the show to hear your thoughts on
Okay.
that. Okay.
Sure.
All right. So first on the block here for the People's Choice, someone submitted a question and said, why haven't the Miami Heat been able to acquire a superstar since LeBron? And that was over a decade ago.
Yeah, fantastic question. What I will say is the reports that we have heard come out about that organization and the way it's run since LeBron left. What do I mean by that? I mean Pat Riley, aka the Godfather, and he is very much an old school, my way or the highway type guy. And unfortunately, as great as he is and as much success as he has had over his basketball life, which is tremendous, what do they say? 25 or 30% of all NBA finals, he's been involved as a player, coach, or executive, which is absolutely freaking crazy, right?
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, he's got 5 as a head coach, 1 as a player, like 2 more as an executive. So, obviously the guy is a winner and he believes his method works. But the problem is the modern athlete, for the most part, is not trying to hear what Pat Riley is kicking. And he's like, yo, my way or the highway. And you have to, unfortunately, figure out a way. Very few people are able in the modern sporting environment with the modern athlete to get away with coaching or running a franchise that way. And so I believe that is the reason Miami has not been able to acquire a superstar. Now, I think they said Ja Morant wanted to go there, but maybe Pat Riley said, no, I don't want to deal with that. I don't know. I had heard maybe a year or 2 ago that if Giannis moved on, Miami might be one of his preferred destinations. I don't know if it's a fit thing with him and Bam, but I think with a player like that, you try to make the fit work, right? Yeah, I think that's the main reason that they haven't been able to get the superstar. Exactly. VC, you're 100% right. I think that's what it is.
On point. I love this comment. The new superstars aren't wanting that accountability that comes from the Heat culture. 100%. And I think someone Bam, who's had a very long tenure for them, and then their surprise appearance in the finals 3 years ago, I feel like when you get a whole bunch of guys that are willing to buy into their Heat culture, that's what you're going to get. And I really wish that there's actually ballers here in the league that would buy into that culture, because I truly believe the Miami Heat is a team to be reckoned with if they were to buy in.
Mm-hmm.
Great topic. Let's move on to the next one. Again, this is the People's Choice. Viewers run the show. We have fans submitted topics. Let's check out the second one. Who's actually the current face of the league right now?
Bree, this is such a difficult question because I've been wondering about this for a while. I think the easy answer is to say LeBron, right? Because no matter what, when you're talking NBA, LeBron comes up. He's that guy. Even though he's on his way out, he's clearly on the downside. He's not the player he once was. He still garners the most attention. He's still the guy that people love to talk about, whether good or bad. We're still talking about where's he going to be next year. We're talking about, all the reports that came out about him with the Lakers, right? So I would say it's LeBron. But if it's not LeBron, this is where it gets iffy for me, because I've always said that there's a thing called American exceptionalism, right? It's just a belief that United States is above everyone else and everyone else is a step below and doesn't matter as much. And as such, I've always felt like the American basketball fan is not going to ever put a foreign player as the face of the league. With that said, I think I was wrong on this. I really do. And shout out to my guy, Ed Dog. If it's not LeBron, I'm really starting to believe it's Jokic. Because the way that basketball fans, modern basketball fans, seem to love Jokic is crazy. And I've said this before. I feel like Jokic fans are the new LeBron fans. Like, they will go to bat for Jokic. And the way he's being, the way that the NBA media, the NBA itself is really like lionizing Nikola Jokic, pushing his narrative, etc., and the way the fans love him. If it's not LeBron, I believe the face of the NBA is Jokic. And that's really weird because he has no desire whatsoever to be the face of the league. Doesn't seem to have any personality whatsoever. I just want to go home and play with my horses, right? So maybe he's the Serbian face of basketball. Cool. But I think if it's not LeBron, I think it's Jokic. And I think that's wild.
Now, I'm seeing some comments about like the face of the league and whether even if that's a thing anymore, essentially being the face of the league. I mean, I look at it like there always is that top guy. Like there was a Michael Jordan, and at one point LeBron didn't exist when there was that Michael Jordan, and then now there is LeBron. I really think this generation is gonna get that face of the league. And I would have to agree with you. It's definitely looking like a Joker. If not, low key a Luka, because he's still so young.
Right.
They love you, Luka. Luka's loved. And so I could definitely see. I definitely, now I'm not saying that this is a good or bad thing, but there's always been that top dog. So if we start seeing top dogs getting rotated in and out, who knows? It could even possibly be Wemby.
Wemby has to stay on the floor.
Right on
But it could be him.
You say, sorry.
Oh, wow. Yeah, there you go.
He literally said it. He just put it like literally when I was saying it.
Right. That's cool. I think Wemby just has to stay on the floor. He's got to stay healthy, and it could be him.
Yeah. And again, for all of you who are just joining, we're doing the People's Choice. This is when the viewers run the show. We had fans submit their topics, and right now we're talking about who is actually the current face of the league right now. And Bruce went ahead and he said Joker, Nikola Jokic, and I'm gonna say it's either probably between Luka and or Wemby. Wemby, if he can stay healthy. And watch the Spurs do something crazy in the playoffs this year. It's going to change narratives. Okay. Let's move on to the next one in the People's Choice topic. We have, is the super team trend officially dead?
I wanted to believe that was the case, Bree, but as I said earlier, I believe LeBron is headed back to Cleveland to run with one more super team, so it's not dead quite yet. He desperately wants a fifth title, and I think that obviously he knows that he's got to really load up in order to try and get it. So I think it's not dead quite yet. The league did a great job of fighting back against that. I thought that was fantastic. I think, as we talked about, the younger players aren't that interested in that. I think that's fantastic. So right. I love seeing it that the super team era is almost dead, but I think LeBron is going to try one more time.
But you know what? What I think frustrates me is that you have super duper great guys like Anthony Edwards who can't get it done on a team without superstars, and then you have other people say, "Oh, he just add him with another person." I personally don't think it's dead in a solution for certain players to propel their careers. And then we've even seen it with Giannis in the talks of where he would end up. So I don't think it's dead yet, but I do agree that the trend itself, the league is fighting back because OKC set that golden standard. They showed that it is possible to get it done without it. But also, we don't yet have the superstars emerging. The superstars that we have currently are still here. So when they're ushered out, I'm kind of curious to see with the new superstars, what would they do as, the years go on. So
here's the other thing, Bree. I don't mind quote unquote super teams as long as the organization is building them, right? And maybe if it's like two guys, not three or more, right?
Yeah.
But if the organization is building them, okay, cool. You're working with what the front office gives you. You're not colluding and huddling behind the back of the building like, hey, man, listen, hey, your contract's up next year. My contract's up. Let's get together. Da, da, da.
You don't think there's any collusion? You just said that James Harden went to Cleveland.
Oh, yeah, that.
LeBron's going there.
Well, because LeBron.
Like collusion.
No, because LeBron, yes. But what I'm saying is that's the super team construction I don't like. If an organization says, okay, I'm going to put player X, player Y, player Z together, and we're going to try to win, okay, cool. You're working with what the organization gave you. I'm okay with that. I think that's two different things. And no, Sneed, LeBron is not going to Boston. You know that, and I know that.
Oh, Sneed, make sure you stay. Make sure you stay because we will get to that. I promise you. But right now, if you haven't already, make sure you drop a like, subscribe. Yes. We are currently doing fan submitted topics, and if you know Bull, you know ball. And so is the super team trend officially dead? Bruce said yes. I said no, and we will keep it moving. Or any last thoughts on that?
No.
Okay, good. Perfect. All right, here we go to the next fan selected topic. I was reluctant to put this up here, but you know how often I still get comments on my Kevin Durant video that I did. Is Kevin Durant washed?
No. Is he the same Kevin Durant that was completely and utterly dominant in Golden State? Not quite, but he's also not washed, right? Now, at the same time, we got to, you played ball collegiately. I watch ball a lot. So we know that what Kevin Durant was able to do was a hell of a lot easier with the way that team played in Golden State and the fact that other than Draymond, you pretty much couldn't help off of anybody. So he's one of the best one-on-one players in the league today, if not the best. And so he had so many one-on-one opportunities because you just couldn't help, right? And so, excuse me, it made it a lot easier for him to just go off and cook the way he was cooking. It was too easy over there. That said, Kevin Durant is not washed. He's not washed at all, but he's not the same guy. And I don't think he's going to carry a quote unquote regular team to a chip that way.
Well, do you see him making some waves with Rockets, who got demolished by the Celtics last night, by the way, without Jaylen Brown?
Let's go Boston. But no, I absolutely do. Now, depending on how the seedings shake out, but I can see the Rockets in the conference finals. I can say that. And let me also say this. I said this, and my man Ed Dog went crazy before the season started. When we found out, the Rockets were going there, I made this statement and I stand by it. I said, if Kevin Durant wins a championship with the Rockets, it means more than every one of LeBron's championships because he did it. He didn't do it as Mandow Mel says. He didn't do it the sleazy way. He went and really got it. And so I truly believe that wholeheartedly. Every one of LeBron's, it will mean more. But regardless of any of that, Kevin Durant is not washed. No.
I'm leaning towards, he's shooting 50% from the field.
Mm-hmm.
I would say, is it fair to say he's middling? Is that the right word to use?
I think he doesn't look aggressive, but maybe that's just, it comes so easy to him that he's almost never looked truly aggressive.
It just doesn't seem like he has that dog in him. I mean, granted, I've seen him do crossover, blow by, he yams it in the rim. I've seen that this season multiple times.
Right.
I've seen him get the call for the ball, but it's just not looking like it's his team. And because he's a superstar and he's on the Rockets, and the fact that it don't look like it's his team leads me to believe this man is washed.
Wow. No, I think washed is a stretch, Bree. I can't see that. I can't see that.
He just doesn't. He's not giving me superstar.
Maybe he doesn't feel like he needs to yet. Maybe he didn't want to walk in and totally disrupt the team, what they had going on.
Why not? What KD has been on so many different teams. I don't think he gives a darn about disrupting anything.
I think he does.
He's very prideful.
Mm-hmm.
And he's never been like a leader. We've never seen KD be like a leader he's like a lead by example
He
type
told
of
us he's not. He told us he's not a leader. So that's fine. But I think that for me, I think the reason they brought him there was for specific situations like the playoffs, like when we saw them in Game 7 in the playoffs last season and they couldn't buy a bucket. So you get a guy like a KD that when you need a bucket, he can deliver that bucket. So I don't think he needs to be going off really killing every single game the way that we all know he's capable of. He's there for a reason, and when that reason raises up, I think he'll be able to deliver. Now, I'm not saying he's going to win a chip there, but I'm saying that's my thought. So again, to say he's washed, I can't see it.
Well, we've seen the Rockets lose to the Warriors in the playoffs multiple times. I do think that with KD there, he's going to be a difference maker. So it's a tough one.
Sorry.
Good.
No, I was going to ask you, you don't think if KD is there on that Rockets team last year, they don't beat the Warriors?
They do beat the Warriors last year. And so me saying that, I that's why I'm teetering on the fence. I'm going to teeter on the fence with this one. Is Kevin Durant washed? Is he going to get another ring? I don't think Steph, LeBron, or KD are going to get another ring.
Nah, just get out of here.
Just get out. So then, yeah, if they're not, then they're washed.
I don't think that makes them washed. Washed is when you can't play anymore.
You're on whoa. This is not like KD's on a terrible team. He has the best possible team he has around him, better than what he had in the Suns, better than what he had in on the Nets, better than what he's seen in all his not since the Warriors, not that better. But I'm just saying he's had better in a while, and as many moves as he's been making, obviously he's chasing chips. If he wasn't, he probably would have just stayed kaput.
Maybe so.
Why else would he be? He already makes the most money. He makes more than LeBron. He's made more than LeBron in his entire career, NBA earnings wise. Who knows what other ventures they have? But he's already made the most. What other reason would he have moving teams in the chase a chip? So I just think he's not going to say it again.
No, I was agreeing with you. We know that that's why he's doing it, because the whole narrative is that, you can't win without Golden State. Oh, I'm going to show you. And he hasn't been able to do that for a myriad of reasons.
Right. All right. Is KD washed? This is a very polarizing topic. We get a lot of absolutelys and a lot of heck no's. So, a great topic. Let's move on. Again, we're on the People's Choice. The viewers run the show. And we're going to move it along here. Who is the most overrated team currently in the NBA?
I have no idea. I really don't. Okay, so I want to say the Lakers, but of course they're just going to say, well, you were hating Celtics.
That's low-hanging fruit, Bruce. It really is.
But I mean, your
answer is your answer. I'm not going to pick away from your answer. No. But the Lakers is very much low-hanging fruit. And just take away the LeBron biases of it all. And
no, it's not about LeBron.
The league as a whole. Okay. The most overrated team currently. And we can even contribute it to the teams who were. Let's see. We got a lot of comments so far from people. So this is a good question. We see a lot of teams that were supposed to be doing amazing, who were 500, chilling. We're scared for them.
This may sound crazy. I think it's the Pistons. As good as they are, they're number one in the East.
Thank you.
I think they very easily could not make the Eastern Conference Finals for as good as they are. I think it's the Pistons.
Thank you. That's not my answer, but I'm glad you said it.
Yeah. That's what I think.
Because the Pistons, I feel like, yes, they are number one in the East, but we really need to watch them. Now, I want to see them with Kevin Huerter and them losing Jaden Ivey, because I think Kevin Huerter is going to bring more consistent offense for them than Jaden did. And I think they were hoping he would, coming back off an injury, but he just can't shoot a three to save his life, to save their lives. And so I think I'm excited to see their new additions for sure.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to completely write them off. And then what was their big man that they got?
The Pistons?
Yeah. Now they have like he's gonna play behind Isaiah.
Oh, Sarge.
Stars, yes, Dario.
Mm-hmm.
I just don't want to write them off. Those aren't make or breaks. But
Right.
I'm on the path with you about the Pistons being overrated this year.
Mm-hmm.
And I think they're gonna get knocked off the first
I still
round.
think they're really good though. I'm not trying to say they're not really good. Thank God Chris is not here. He might lose his mind.
Chris would freak out.
Yeah, he would.
He freaked out on me. He would
I was
lose
there.
his. Yo, you were there.
Yes. Shout out Motor City Chris.
Yes. Motown Chris. Okay.
Yeah, I think that's probably I think a lot of people have really huge expectations of the Pistons, and I don't see them getting there this year.
Yeah. I would say my overrated team is probably going to go to the Pistons. Were up there for me, not gonna lie.
Mm-hmm.
But I think I'm gonna head over to the West.
Okay.
And I'm gonna say an overrated team from the West.
That's tough, man. Those teams in the West are real good.
No, like they are good. I almost did. I almost started hating, bro.
I can't wait to hear this.
Man. I mean, aside, okay, I'm gonna go back east because on the West, I did almost say the Timbs, but I think we're not talking about overrated players. We're talking about overrated teams.
Ooh.
And as a whole, the Wolves are a solid team, but I think Anthony Edwards is an overrated player.
Ooh.
And I get a lot of hate for this.
That's
I know. He's great, but I just think he's overrated in getting it done. And he talks a lot about how he gets stuff done and he's big dog, but big dog ain't do nothing in terms of winning wise.
Right.
But we're talking overrated.
Overrated.
We're talking so Smeed over here talking about underrated.
Right. Who said they were? Somebody else in the chat must have said they were overrated.
Sneed said Pistons overrated is hilarious.
Yeah. Okay, so Coach T in the chat said that the Nuggets are overrated. So Sneed is responding to him.
Okay. I almost said the Nuggets, but then I started thinking about everything they did without Joker. And I think they're just coached extremely well to be overrated. I think any team that's coached that well is definitely. I would say the Magic maybe could be overrated, but I just think they're just losing themselves in some type of capacity. I don't even think people are rooting for them to win. So to me, an overrated team is a team that people are hyping up to the ends of the earth, and they're actually not that good. So
I don't think anybody hyped up the Magic like that. I mean, I think a lot of us thought that the Magic would be better this year.
Yeah.
I don't know about hyping up to the ends of the earth though.
Yeah. No, yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like with the Magic, nobody did. So that's why I can't say that they're overrated.
Right.
Yeah. You know, actually, this actually might be a crazy take. I think the Knicks could be low-key overrated.
Okay, I'm not mad at that. I think they should have done what they could.
I don't believe it. Yeah. Because what Karl Anthony Towns does is when they're losing, he magically gets hurt and he goes and sits down and he's so hurt. And then when Jalen Brunson brings them back or OG Anunoby or Josh Hart does some crazy hustle play and brings them back, then Cat talking about he better and then it's like checking back in. I see them do that so many times in the playoffs last year, Bruce. I almost broke my TV.
Now you're going to have me watching that. Okay. Please, now you're going to have me looking out for that.
Please look out for it. I'm telling you. He does this crazy flop thing. And that's why I think he doesn't get a lot of calls. And if they start losing or he gets tired, he starts limping and acting crazy. Yo, I need someone to back me up on this. I'm telling you, he's done it multiple times.
You really gonna have me looking for this now? That's crazy.
I know it's insane. But in big moments, Cat, I just think he doesn't. I think he holds the ball way too much, and I see Jalen Brunson's frustration, but he's trying to be a stand-up guy about it.
Mm-hmm.
But I can just tell, like, you give the ball to Cat, he's gonna take it every time.
Mm-hmm.
And I get it. He's been conference player of the month. He's done this, he's done that, but he's not going to win them many championships being their number one option.
No.
And so I think the Knicks can be overrated. I don't believe in Mike Brown at all. Do you believe in Mike?
Not on a championship level, no. I thought it was a mistake, and I said it on my show back then. I thought it was a mistake to fire Tibbs. They shouldn't have done it. Now, they should have threatened him like, yo, you need to adjust your substitution patterns and scale back the minutes that these guys play some, or it's going to cost you your job. But they should not have fired him given what he did. That was crazy. Because they clearly had no succession plan, and they didn't get somebody who was better. And that's no disrespect to Mike Brown. He's a very good coach, but that wasn't it. That's not what you needed to do.
I would have preferred Don. Don Staley was one of the front runners for that position. But anyway, I was being shady.
No, that wasn't going to work.
All right, y'all. The viewers have picked our topics. Y'all are on a roll. Thought these are great submissions. People's choice. We're almost to the end of the roll. This question right now: who is better, Tatum or Brown?
Here we go.
This was a good question because last year, obviously, when they were both playing, it was a debate, and obviously Jason took that one home. But now that the Celtics are number 2 in the East without Jason Tatum, with Jaylen Brown at the helm, arguably in MVP talks to be the MVP, over Cades, over Luka, over Joker. What do you think? And this is a Celtics fan, by the way. Of those of you who do not know, Bruce is a diehard Celtics fan.
That's right. Since Bird was waving the towel in the garden. No, Jaylen Brown, and it's not by a lot, right? And I know Ed's probably going to go crazy over this. Shout out Ed Dog, it's my guy. But no, Jaylen Brown. And again, that's no disrespect to Jason Tatum. But for reason number one, Jaylen Brown is the better man on defender, and I value that highly. He's the better defender. 2, he's got more dog in him. And he doesn't, even though he's improved on the 3 ball, he doesn't bail out the defense a lot of times like Tatum does by taking bad threes. He is much more an attacking type of wing player, right? So he's a better defender. He's more of an attacker, which I think allows him to not be subject to bad games as much, right? Because, and not to say Tatum has a lot of bad games, but when Tatum's shot isn't falling, you could see it messes with him. But Jaylen Brown is going to continue to attack you. And the third thing is, now this is hypothetical, but I'll say as a Celtics fan, I don't believe that if Jaylen Brown had been out for this whole season, Tatum would have carried this team the way Jaylen Brown has carried the Celtics in the absence of Tatum. So I'm going to go Jaylen Brown, not by a lot, but by a little bit. So that's where I am on that.
Okay. Just by a little, just a smidge?
Yeah. By a little bit.
I think I agree with everything you said. I just think Jason Tatum, despite Jaylen Brown dribble package and his ability to go downhill and his versatility offensively, I still think Jason Tatum is harder to guard for a lot of people in the league. Okay. And there's guys that just, he's a hard person to match up against, and the way they utilize him causes a lot of mismatch disadvantages for other teams. But on the other note of that, Jaylen Brown has more of an it factor for me as opposed to Jason Tatum. He just, something about him just doesn't have that it factor to him.
Agreed.
But I wish I had the stats just to see the comparison of their seasons and their efficiencies and things like that, because that matters.
Pretty close. It's pretty close.
Yeah. But I'm leaning towards Tatum being a better player here.
Okay. Well, let me ask you this, Bree. I respect your opinion. My thing is this, though, right? You said that you believe that Tatum is tougher for people to guard. I would think that he's easier for people to guard because of his propensity to settle for threes and long jump shots. Like, you don't know what Jaylen Brown is going to do, whether he's going to put it on the ground, boom, on your head, whether he's going to, get it in the mid-range and knock it down, or now shoot a reliable, 38% three-point shot. Like, I just think maybe it's just my personal preference of the way a player plays. I don't like the fact, and people who watch my show have heard me complain about this with Embiid also. I'm a huge Embiid fan, but I hate players that bail out the defense with a bunch of long jump shots and bad threes when they don't need to.
Do you think Jason Tatum takes bad threes?
Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah, he does. Now he's a pretty pure shooter, right? He's like a
Very
kind
pure.
of Michael Porter Jr. type, really can shoot the rock, but he takes a lot of shots and bails out the defense. And when the shot is not falling, he doesn't find the balance between attacking and continuing to shoot, having that shooter's memory. And I don't like that. That's why I'm saying you rarely see Jaylen Brown fall into that trap of, oh, it's just not falling, because he's going to go get you. He's going to take it. He's going to go attack the rim. And so that's my thing. And again, I think Jaylen Brown is the better man-on defender, which is the main thing for me that gives him the slight edge over Tatum. And I know a lot of people don't agree with that, but that's my thought on it.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I would say when it comes to even if Jason Tatum is more predictable, the fact that they know what he's gonna do and he still does it. I mean, it's the same thing with Luka. We're not seeing Luka going to the rim and shooting, but he still averages 30-some points, managing to do the same exact thing every single time.
That's a great point.
And so I think that's what draws me in more to Tatum is his ability to get that off. And that's why I feel like he's harder to guard, because it's like, why haven't we been able to stop this yet?
I got you. I don't know. I think you like Tatum because he's a light bright.
Absolutely not.
No,
LMA can keep him. She can have him.
No, I got you.
I got a specific type, and it is not Jason Tatum.
Okay.
That's funny.
Yeah. But no, I think that's my thought.
Okay, yeah. Great comment. Let's see. Any more in the chat? We want to hear what you have to say as well. I see some Browns. I see some Tatums. Okay, so we're gonna move on to the final one because we've been here a good amount of time. As much as I enjoy the company, we have been on for a little bit.
Right.
We're gonna move on to our final people's choice. Again, the viewers run the show. Anytime you see me post and ask for your input, make sure you submit your topic that you would like to discuss, and we will absolutely talk about it. In this next and final topic, we kind of spoke about it already, but I love to hear y'all thoughts. I kind of hate that I now saved this one for last, but should LeBron play another year?
Okay.
Woo!
You know, I think he should not play another year, but he's going to, and I get it. He desperately wants the retirement tour or whatever you want to call it. He wants that, so yeah, he should play another year. That's another year of content for us too, right? So
yeah,
I don't think he should, but I think he's going to. The only problem I'll say for him, right, is the longer he plays, obviously, the more he'll decline athletically and skill-wise. That's just he has lasted at a high level longer than anyone in history, no question. But nobody can go forever. And the other problem is on the off-the-court stuff, the longer he plays, the more stuff is going to start coming out. And that obsessive need he has to control the narrative and paint himself in a certain light,
right,
that's fading. So I don't think he should play another year, but I know that he will.
As much as I agree. I don't know. I think I'm more so focused on. No, this is the question. Do I think he's gonna play another year? You know what? I was kind of surprised at how many games he's already played this year.
True.
How come we give so much? We gave Dallas Mavericks a lot of crap for trading for Luka and letting go such a prime player like that.
Mm-hmm.
And then you have him on this team and you have the Austin Reeves, because I think he cemented himself as more than capable to contribute to a run. Mm-hmm. And then you get DeAndre Ayton. So you get all these, we're not seeing first draft year pro rookie DeAndre Ayton by any means. We're not seeing any of that.
Right.
But why aren't we looking at the fact that LeBron isn't getting it done this year? In fact, they've been on the decline. And then why would we think that because he's not getting it done, that it could be possible that he could do next year too? But it's not like he's sitting out, and I think he has the possibility or capability to sit out. Like, I wouldn't be surprised after All-Star break we start seeing him play less and less.
I can see that. So this is gonna sound crazy coming from me. The reason we don't give him a hard time for not getting it done the same is because he is 41. He has more miles on his body and on his legs than anyone who's ever played this game in the NBA. So we do have to be fair, and we have to acknowledge that. That said, if you can't get it done anymore, just go sit down. Call it a career. But I just think that you do have to give him a little bit of grace and a little bit of leeway for the fact that he is that age, still contributing. Obviously not nearly the player he once was, but still contributing, and he is as old as he is and has done as much as he has.
I see what you're saying. So you think because of his age and he's still contributing and he has such a big name, that's why this isn't his final year. Is next year going to be his final year?
Yeah, I think so. Because 2 reasons. He has to control when it's his final year. He can't stand someone else being able to control that. He doesn't want to be put out of the league. He wants to decide that, hey, I'm going to step away now, so that he can have the farewell tour and that his ego can be fed all around, right? See, they did the farewell tours for other people because they wanted to do it. He wants to have it, right? That's 2 different things, but he's going to get that. He's earned it. And so there's that. And then I think he just wants to go out on his own terms. That's all I think it is.
And that's going to be in Cleveland, according to I feel like I think he's going to end with the Lakers. I think he's gonna have because this is what LeBron likes to do. LeBron absolutely loves to hype it up and then absolutely do the opposite of what we thought he was gonna do. Okay. And so look at the commercial that he did, and it turns out it's about alcohol. And then just for him to turn around and say, "Oh, I'm not drinking. I'm giving up alcohol for a little bit because of my sciatica." So I just feel like LeBron he's gonna. Right now, he's giving the Kobe hype of a farewell tour, but then he's going to end up being a Tim Duncan. Peace out. I'm not.
No.
I'm ending in the Lakers.
Absolutely not. His ego will not allow that. No. But also, here's the other question, right? Do we think that he is going to allow for being on some vet minimum? Right. I saw that too. Being on some vet minimum contract with the Lakers. I don't know. Again, if he will allow the narrative that he was forced into that, right? If he goes to, let's say, Cleveland, and he says, okay, I'll do this for the sake of the team so we can put together the type of team I want, then that's him controlling it, right? That's not the Lakers forcing it on him or saying, hey, take this or, hit the bricks. See what I'm saying? So that's how
he's not forcing it, taking the bricks. Why wait to the okay?
That's how I see it. I could be wrong.
So he's playing the long game right now. That's why he got his player option. That's why we're not seeing anything happen at the deadline. He's gonna wait until the summer. He's gonna get a fresh start.
Remember, he's also got the no. If he didn't have the no trade, I think he'd have been out of there at the deadline. I do, but he's got the no trade, so he could veto anything.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm picking up what you're putting down. I'm talking about what I want and not looking at the facts and everything on the table.
Right.
I just want to be done with LeBron, y'all. I'm sorry. I think he's done a lot for the game and he's great, but I just can't wait to see what this league looks like without him. And honestly, I think it would be on the up and up, if anything.
Okay. I'm going to try to keep this brief. I know we got to go. One more question. People keep saying he's done so much for the league. He's done so much for the game. What exactly has he done for the game?
Oh.
What has he done? He's ruined the dunk contest. He's ruined the All-Star game. Ushered in the super team era, right?
Got his son in.
When he didn't deserve it, what has he done so much for it? He has made the league a ton of money. Can't argue that.
Yeah.
That's it. What has he done for the game? We got to stop this.
What has LeBron done? That is a great point. What has LeBron James done for the game of basketball? What has he done? Because, I mean, the term bully ball actually used to be used in a positive connotation.
Mhm.
And now it's just like a negative, in my is a negative connotation watching him play out there. But that is such a, because it's not like a Steph Curry. Steph Curry changed the game with the 3-point shot.
Right.
100%. He changed the game. Like, we can see how the league changed because of Steph. But I don't, as much as LeBron sells shoes and jerseys and love, I genuinely have never seen anybody say, I want to play just like LeBron James. Maybe he kind of did show like a forward's ability to play make
No,
for their team.
Larry Bird was doing that well before him.
Okay,
No,
this
he
is
didn't.
true.
Yeah.
This is true.
Scottie Pippen, Grant Hill, all those guys were doing that before him. So, just saying. Pistol Pete.
Damn, Bruce. That's a great way to end the show. We all got some homework. Okay.
There we go.
When we leave from here, I want you to ask your friends, your family, open up your prayer journal, write it down. What has LeBron James done for the game? Except give us really bad commercials. I mean, bottom of the barrel.
Right.
But all right.
There you go.
Man, Bruce.
Great.
I'm glad you were here. Make sure again, if you haven't already, head over to the Format Podcast. I put the link in the description of this episode, and you can subscribe to the Format Podcast. They talk football, basketball, and it's not just him, it's Transformer too, with appearances from
Got what
Sneed.
you need.
Yes, and these guys know the game. So I really appreciate you coming on my show and choosing me to come to be on. You didn't have to show up, so I appreciate that.
No, I appreciate the invite. And, had a lot of fun. Was looking forward to it, and turned out great.
Yeah, it did.
Yeah,
absolutely. So if you haven't already, make sure you drop a like, subscribe, and thank you all so much for your engagement. And we can't wait to see you on the next stream. And just remember, if you know bull, you know ball. All right, take care, y'all.